Here we are, just about to jump on for a bit of a squirt up through the bush, and another absolute epic day here just on Eildon Lake. Now, gone are the days where, as a kid, I'd ride around just in denim jeans, a set of bunnies, and a jumper that would have a little bit of padding stitched into the elbows from my mum. It's all the right gear these days, so I've got full Chinese body armour under this, the knee guards, the boots, helmet, gloves, the works. It's really not worth taking the chances on that one, and a good helmet. And a trick with the helmets are, if a helmet takes a severe stack, that's the helmet's life done. Whether there's signs of damage or not, it's advisable to go get yourself another one and get a good one. But beginning of a track, it's quite warm, it's a bit dusty, but I'm only going out for a squirt with myself, so that's good. I won't have dust in my face, so I say we get into it and see what we can find. So there's riding styles and a whole heap of different abilities for everybody. When I used to just, as a kid, putt around, it was always bum planted in the seat. But a good tip to me was get yourself up out of the saddle and standing in a position like this, in sort of almost like an attack position. For me, that works best. It makes you ready for any obstacles, and don't just look straight ahead of your wheel. Cast your gaze ahead of the bike so you can see things coming up and prepare yourself for it. That's not going to guarantee. I've had many an off and broken bones, but that's part and parcel with riding a motorbike.
After a bit of off-road fun on two wheels, thoughts of exploring further via four-wheel drive brought us back to Cafe 501 for a quick refuel and catch up with Michael Vaughan, a member of the Piranha Gang and an experienced high country four-wheel driver.
Late start this morning, so I mean I know that. How long since you've been into Enoch Point?
Years and years and years. Like, I think you go for a wander down, you never know what you're going to find sometimes.
Thanks for coming back. You guys got one of those jump starters?
We do, Simon, yes, absolutely. Just here.
Awesome, bring it on down. We've got a camper who flagged us down. He's stuck, obviously, with a flat battery. We'll go give him a hand.
Awesome.
First go, first time, nice and easy. How long's that battery been in there?
It's only relatively new, maybe 12 months, not even.
Yeah, battery life's normally about 3 years, you'd expect from a battery.
Yeah.
But if they're abused or left on, it'll drain them and kill them fairly quickly. But yeah, give that a good 15 minutes to charge up.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
You're the best.
Good luck with the rest of the trip.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Carrying spares, the right recovery gear, and in this case a jump starter, isn't always about getting yourself out of trouble. Sometimes you've got to help others. That's our good deed done for the day. Let's get back on the track.
A few years ago, the choices of batteries for my boat was none. There was batteries for boat, that was it. Nowadays, we are largely spoilt for choice for batteries. When somebody comes in and says, I'd like to buy a new battery for my boat or my four-wheel drive, whatever, we've got that many different choices. It's not just a case of buying what's cheapest or whatever. Go into a battery expert and ask, because there's a lot of variations. Some batteries are very, very specific charging regimes, which means effectively they've got to be charged in a particular way, or else they simply don't work. These new choice batteries, these high-tech batteries are fantastic. In many cases, really long shelf life, and that's what's important for something like this. Typically, your lead-acid battery after a year is completely dead, it's ruined. Some of these new tech batteries can sit around for a long time and still recover and work really, really well. The spiral wound AGMs, like I used in my Simpson Desert car, we've now had that car back for quite some time, and those batteries are still in perfect condition. So there's some really big decisions to make when choosing batteries. But don't just take for granted that a battery is a battery. There was an old saying years ago, oils ain't oils. Well, I've got to tell you, with batteries, it's never been truer. Lots and lots of options, lots of choices, but check out what's right for you, really important.
One of the things we've brought along today is my boat and trailer. just to have a bit of fun and show a couple of the other things we do when we're off-road. One of the important things when you're bringing out your boat is not to do what I've done for the last year, which is leave it sit. One of the main things you look for in the boat is just your trailer safety. Most of the mistakes that are made when it comes to maintenance is just a lack of maintenance. Most people think, oh, I serviced it 2 years ago, oh, I haven't used it, it's all good. Some of the rookie mistakes is tyres sitting, they get flat spots. It's where the tyre's been sitting with all the weight on one part of the tyre for too long. You'll notice that when you're driving down the road and you hear thump, 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 thump. It's basically that flat stop's trying to work its way out. You want to look at your bearings, you want to look at your tyres, you want to look at your hitch, have a look at your brakes, make sure all of them are in good working order. Key thing for me, I always go with bearings. I change them once a year regardless. They're inexpensive, use a good quality bearing, good quality grease, and that's you safe on the road.
Another epic day today is planned. We left from the Botels this morning and made our way not too far out of there, pretty well hitting onto dirt straight away.
Barb and Alan had done the first 2 days. I've done the second 2, or doing the second 2. So 5:30 start from me from Melbourne. Nice drive up, but yeah, a bit of breakfast there at the cafe, which was great. And here we are on a drive. Beautiful day. I mean, conditions are perfect. We've just found a little hut in the vicinity of Enoch's Creek here.
You would very easily scoot by this hut and not even know it was there.
Somebody's gone to a lot of trouble to get this stuff here. It's a long way in from the middle of nowhere. A bit in derelict condition now, the glass is smashed and things, but that was somebody's pride and joy. Sometimes spent a lot of time putting that together.
Built from a mixture of tin, timber. The actual fireplace in there is really quite unique. Just a big drum on some railway sleepers. It's half in and half out of the building, which would be very effective, I would imagine.
Overlooking the big river here, a pretty little creek. Bit of a doozy to go get your morning tea, your billy of water, but yeah, great little spot here. And if it was pouring down with rain, it would be good shelter. A bit derelict, as I say, it's got some holes and bits and pieces, but it's shelter if you needed it.
It's just a day of discovery. From what I understand, we're heading towards Enoch's Point and there are scattered huts along the way.
We've had a very cruisy morning and checked out some of the historical sites down through Enoch's Point, but this is where our adventure today is about to begin. We're heading up Donald Track to Mount Terrible, where stunning views look out over the Victorian High Country. This track is one of the harder tracks in the area. The views from the top are iconic and there's some very interesting history surrounding the fire watch towers in the area. But the challenges on Donald Track are what we're really here for, so let's get into it.
Now, before we took off for this trip, I got a call from Simon, specifically asked me, Jake, can you please throw in some of the high-powered LED spotlights? This little bad boy here. Why they're so ideal for this trip here is we're doing a few things after dark, and these things are a powerful little unit. They feature 10 3-watt Cree LEDs, which produces 2,000 lumens of light, and it will produce light for 3 hours. What's more, it'll recharge in 1.5 hours. It's ideal for fishing applications. It's also good for rural stuff, which could be inclusive of spotlighting, hunting or similar. So it really is a fantastic little item, and we're going to get a little bit of a good look at it when we try and spot some local wildlife tonight.
The track itself has a lot of loose rock. It had step-ups, had some ruts, some really steep sections.
Done some very, very challenging tracks, very sort of classic Victorian High Country stuff where good ground clearance is very important, good tyres also very important, and for the cars that have them, diff locks.
I haven't had diff locks for long. So at the start of the track, we had the ARB boys were behind me and they said, "Oh, Mick, chuck in these diff locks that you've got now and see what you think." Put them into low range, and it just crawled up it.
So, I mean, diff locks really come into their own on this steep, rocky country.
And it's a really good, fun track. A good one to start the day with and see what takes you on from there.
When you're travelling on these tight and remote high country tracks, it is very common to come across debris on the roads. Now, in some cases you can drive straight over it, some cases you can drive around it. But the responsible thing to do is to get it off the track to make the transit easy for everybody else.
The track was quite good. We came up the back way, which was pretty rocky, pretty rugged. So I just had the car detailed before we came on the trip, which wasn't a good idea. I've now got about 14 tonne of dust inside it, so I reckon my GMV is probably just breached with all the dust I've got. Just lights on and communicating with each other. You're coming around corners and you're literally blinded by the dust from a vehicle that's ahead of you. So it's just a matter of being cautious.
Well, guys, here we are on Mount Terrible.
It's definitely not terrible, it's fantastic. It's 360 views all around. It's just absolutely beautiful up here. No wind, sun's hidden behind a cloud, but we've still got some blue skies.
The weather's beautiful at the moment, very calm, quite mild. But if the weather turned bad or something like that, then this hut here would be absolute paradise. It's clean, there's a fireplace inside, there's even a bit of charcoal and wood in there. So that's the whole idea with these huts. And they're not designed to be camped in or slept in, they're designed to be used in emergencies when you need shelter from the weather. Today's been full-on four-wheel driving. We've done some very challenging tracks, very, very steep.
So we're going to head down the easy side now, apparently, which is the easy side. I've heard that before and it's been really difficult, so hopefully it'll be easy.
Heading northwest from Mount Terrible, Newman's Track is a relaxing, scenic and easy descent back towards Big River. Whether it's boating, fishing, hunting or like us today, four-wheel driving, the Jerusalem Creek Marina offers the perfect base for exploring the region with its combination of location, facilities and good food.
Lake Eildon is the most popular freshwater fishery in Victoria. It's got so much going for it. It's very close to Melbourne, and one of the big attractions is just the variety of fish here. I must say that coming out on the boat fishing is one of the few times that I'm actually totally and utterly focused on what's happening today and not worrying about what's happening tomorrow. Another thing I really love about fishing is it's another way of experiencing the outback. I mean, I've done a lot of forward driving over the last 30 years. Now what I'm finding is I'm going back to those areas again with the boat and getting into some very remote locations you can't even access it, even in a four-wheel drive, just getting up some of these waterways and exploring the outback by boat rather than four-wheel drive. It just brings a whole nother perspective. What I'm here for is the Murray cod, which I regard as Australia's most iconic freshwater fish species, and Eildon is fast becoming one of the best cod fisheries in the country due to the stocking program that's been going on here. I really enjoy the lure fishing, particularly getting in and amongst the timber, the structure. Invariably when you fish a Murray cod, you'll return empty-handed more often than not. When you do get those big fish, it really is an exhilarating experience. You can see we've got a range of different lures here. We've got one here which is designed to mimic a little duckling. This is designed to mimic a carp, quite a big lure that one, a jackal gigantrel. We've got a little rats, snakes, a water dragon, and these are your more sort of conventional deep diving lures. I've got a variety of rods here that are well suited to casting different lure weights. They're all fitted up with 50-pound braid and 30-pound leaders, which I'm told by Peter, the local guide here, is actually very light for Murray cod. He's running 80-pound braid.
We're trolling for Murray cod. We're just staying along close to the trees. There's been a lot of big cod caught through this area here. Somebody's lost a lure, so we can go and grab that one. Yep, turn him around the other way. This can be very dangerous as well, so there's certain things we need to do here. Very, very careful. We've still got line. Yep, we're right to go. Since 2010, the Victorian Fisheries has been heavily stocking the lake. There's not a closed season here, which is really great for the fisher people, because when the rivers are closed, that gives the cod a chance to spawn, and yet the fishermen can come here and fish during that closed season. We have our local fishing competition here the weekend before Anzac Day, over $20,000 in prizes. This is our second year we're holding it, and we're definitely holding it in 2019. Big lake, big fish, big adventure.
We got excited back there in that little cove. We hooked up a redfin. It was only a wee little fish, and it ended up jumping off the line. But it's just part of the excitement. Coming out here fishing, you don't have to catch a fish every time, although we're trying our best to, but it's just a part of being out, enjoying nature and thoroughly taking in the great outdoors.
What an awesome few days. We had a good selection of toys between us, motorbikes and boats and things like that. We thought what a great place Lake Eildon would be, and it certainly delivered. Awesome blend of some good forward driving, out on the boats, having a bit of fun, a bit of fishing and a bit of sightseeing as well.
If you're looking to get away, get up here to the Central Highlands of Victoria. Make sure you drop in and say hello, and we'll give you a very warm country-style welcome.